The money didn't come in a briefcase. It came in a quiet wire transfer notification, blinking on my phone at 2:17 a.m., lighting up the ceiling like a confession no one planned to make. $100,000 pending. I was standing in my kitchen, barefoot, divorce papers spread across the counter like a body I hadn't buried yet. My wife was asleep upstairs, or pretending to be. She'd mastered that skill lately. Then the doorbell rang. Once. Slow. I didn't rush. I already knew whoever it was didn't belong to fear. When I opened the door, she stood there in a tailored black coat, eyes dry, posture flawless. A woman who had learned how to survive without blinking. "The transfer should clear by morning," she said. No introduction, no apology, just certainty. I stared at her hands. No tremor, no guilt. She looked past me, into my house, into my marriage. "Don't divorce her yet," she continued. "Wait 2 months." My mouth stayed closed. My pulse didn't. "Why?" I asked. She finally met my eyes. "Because if you do it now," she said, calm as anesthesia, "she walks away with nothing but shame, and that would be merciful." Then she smiled. "I'm not here to be kind." 2. Reveal of conflict. I'd known my wife was cheating before the money ever arrived. Men always know. We just delay the moment it becomes real. The late nights, the new passwords, the way she started showering the moment she got home, like she needed to wash off someone else's fingerprints. I told myself stories, work stress, midlife panic, anything that kept the marriage intact a little longer. The woman at my door erased those lies. She was his wife, the other man's wife. She didn't say his name. She didn't have to. It echoed in the space between us like a gunshot that hadn't landed yet. "They think they're careful," she said. "They always do." I thought of my wife's smile that morning, the way she kissed my cheek without looking at me, the way her phone never left her hand. 2 months, she repeated. "Stay married, act normal. Let them believe they're winning." "Or?" I asked. Her eyes hardened. "Or they recover." She turned and walked away before I could ask anything else. The wire transfer cleared at dawn. 3. Rising suspense. I became patient. That was my first act of violence. I stopped checking her phone openly, started cloning it instead. I installed software she'd never notice, tracked locations she thought were private, read messages meant to disappear. They were careful. Hotels under fake names, meetings disguised as conferences, jokes about me, how predictable I was, how blind. At home, I smiled, I cooked, I touched her shoulder when I passed. Inside, I cataloged everything, dates, amounts, promises. I learned about offshore accounts, shell companies, money he was hiding from his wife, from regulators, from the world. I learned my wife wasn't just cheating, she was planning. 2 months passed slowly, like a blade being sharpened. 4. Major reveal, the truth. The evidence arrived in a folder hand-delivered by a private firm that charged more than most people make in a lifetime. DNA tests, financial trails, signed contracts. I invited my wife to sit with me at the dining table. I slid the folder toward her. "Read," I said. Her hands shook by page 3. By page 6 she was crying. "He told me he was leaving her," she whispered. I nodded. "I know." She looked up, searching for anger, found none. "He said you were weak," she sobbed, "that you'd never—" I stood. That ended the conversation. 5. Cold confrontation, revenge moment. The real confrontation wasn't with my wife, it was with him. His wife arranged it. A conference room, glass walls, lawyers waiting outside like vultures. I laid out the documents, his accounts frozen, his empire exposed, his name already bleeding into places it couldn't be erased from. "You used my wife," I said quietly. "You underestimated yours." He tried to speak. I stood first. "I'm not divorcing her. I added. I'm keeping her. His wife smiled. That broke him. 6. Closure. Emotional detachment. I did divorce her, just not when she expected. When it was over, there was nothing left for her to take. No leverage, no sympathy, no story where she was the victim. I watched her pack in silence. I kept the house, the dignity, the ending. The money was never the reward. Control was. And as the door closed behind her, I realized something terrifyingly simple. I no longer felt anything at all. And that was the real victory.